Yo, what's good?
Yo, what's up, bro?
Not much.
Man, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are having a well-deserved little time off with your families, getting to reconnect with your loved ones. And one thing I'm thankful for, B. Hill, is this show, number one. And number two, man, just life in general and getting to talk about football. So without further ado, we're just going to hop into it, man. My name is Corey Hilliard, the man next to me, Brandon Hill, a.k.a. B. Hill. We are the House Divided. Today we're going to be talking about NFL Thanksgiving Day. Three big games on Thanksgiving today. And also, we're going to give our power rankings. So, if you've been here before, you know what to do. If this is your first time, mi casa, su casa. But whether you've been here before or if it's your first time, my boy B. Hill got to hit you with the house rules.
You guys already know what time it is around here at the House Divided, guys. If you're not already, please do us that great favor. Just hop down there. Be thankful today that you hop down there and you hit that subscribe button. Another thing as well, go ahead and tap that notification bell as well so you guys can be up to date on all our newest and latest and greatest content that we're going to be hitting you guys with. Also, if you like what you're seeing, you like what you're hearing, there's that little thumbs up button underneath here. Go ahead and smash that for us. Helps with the YouTube algorithm, get us out there on the platform where everybody else can see our content and enjoy it as well. And last but not least, guys, we always want to hear from y'all. Hop down in the comments. We don't care one way or another what you say. Right, wrong, and different. You can talk complete trash on us the whole time. We just want to hear from you guys. So, as my guy Corey was alluding to, this Thanksgiving, this is probably, Corey, one of the best Thanksgiving slate of games I've seen in a while. Just by as far as, like, there's legit, every one of these six teams, they're a good football team. Even though the Lions at 4-6, you might not think that they're a good football team, but they're sneaky, man. The Lions, they got playmakers on offense. I mean, they got a couple of studs at running back. They got a stud at receiver. Jared Goff is kind of one of those quarterbacks that just flies under the radar but just steadily handles his business. I mean, the guy's been to a Super Bowl, for crying out loud. Not many quarterbacks can say that. So that's the one that I wanted to kick off the night with here, Corey, or the day with. I wanted to start with this Bills at the Lions game.
Okay.
You got the Bills pulling up into Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. I mean, it's like a routine thing. They do this every year. Detroit Lions always play on Thanksgiving Day.
Yep.
It's the early kickoff game, so this is the one whenever you've either got your turkey and your ham in the oven or you're sitting down at the dinner table and you're eating. You're going to have your wife or your lady or whoever, you're going to have to be like, baby, we're not watching football right now. It's Thanksgiving Day. And I've got the football game on during my Thanksgiving dinner. So that's a ritual. It's never changed. It's never going to change. So you got the Buffalo Bills, though, pulling up in there at -9.5. I mean, that's
a little high to me, bro.
That does seem a little bit high, especially on Thanksgiving Day, because even in Detroit's worst years, they seem to kind of show up and play some football on Thanksgiving Day. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, this is probably one of the most talented teams they've seen on Thanksgiving Days in recent years' memory, unless you can correct me on that one. Because the Buffalo Bills are coming in here at 7-3. They're tied for first, or I think they're in first. No, they're in second place because the Dolphins beat them earlier this season.
Yeah, the Dolphins got the
So the Buffalo
lead.
Bills have kind of been sliding. They won that game last week in Detroit. So it was kind of like their little home away from home game. Everything else, kind of like what you said. You gave them the alarm code. Everything else, you kind of let them just make themselves a home there. Josh Allen's been kind of dealing with that injury. You know what I'm saying? They're not talking too much about it, but you can definitely see that it affects him just a little bit. He's not really, I mean, you don't see no 70, 80-yard bombs going down the field ever since he's done that. It's been a lot more short, intermediate passing plays.
Right.
And again, can they establish a run, Corey? Can the Bills run the football? That's been, other than Josh Allen, that's been their Achilles heel, man. They don't have a guy whenever it gets close. If you got the Buffalo Bills close in the fourth quarter, you can beat them because they're not going to be able to run the ball to run the clock out on you. I mean, unless Josh Allen just does his Josh Allen things. But my thing is I guess is what I'm saying. If you don't have a running back to back that up, you just don't want your quarterback out there running 20, 30 times a game. That's just not a recipe for success. Never has been.
Right.
So I'm going to kind of toss it over to you on this, let you give some points, and then we'll kind of come back to me. I'll give my pick, and then you can give your pick. So what you got on this? What are you looking at in this game?
Oh, man, I'm definitely looking defensively. What are the Lions going to do? You got to be able to neutralize that offense. Like you said, you can't let Josh Allen just kind of get off. There's the emergence of, Little Cook, Dalvin's little brother, there in Buffalo. When they got Nyheim Hines, I thought he was going to really take over that second spot.
I did too.
You know what I mean? And,
I did too.
Ever since they got Nyheim Hines, bro, the Little Cook has been going off. He had 2 nice games. They've been feeding him the ball more. There's some semblance of a run game now, the more that he gets involved. So, especially, with Detroit, what they did to Saquon Barkley last week, I think that their defense is coming around. It's not as bad as it used to be. So I'm looking at that matchup in particular. I think the Lions are going to be able to score their points on that defense. I don't know how many. Probably won't be too many, but you can't give up a lot. So just got to keep it close, keep it low scoring if I'm the Lions. And that's pretty much it, man. The thing about this game, I've been a part of 6 of them in my 6 years in Detroit. Sometimes it's the only primetime game we get as a Detroit team. You know what I mean? The whole year, depending. So that's why we play so good on Thanksgiving. And I think that was a great point by you. I think they're going to be fired up. They're going to be ready to play, bro.
I do too. I like what the Detroit Lions have. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of said not being able to score points. I mean, man, y'all got a running game though, and the Bills, as far as rushing, they've been giving up runs. I mean, Dalvin Cook went over 100 on them. I'm pretty sure Chubb had a pretty nice little game last week, even though they lost. I mean, The Cleveland Browns are just the Cleveland Browns right now, so we really can't say much about that. But I mean, whenever you go back to the Dalvin Cook game. And then I got to take a look here and see what the rest of their schedule was, because I'm sure. Hang on here, let me look at some. I know that the Michael Carter from the Jets, and James Robinson each had a touchdown against them.
Gave them problems. Yep.
They've lost 2 out of their last 3 games right now. They're kind of coming in, they're reeling. You guys, on the other hand, y'all have won 3 straight games. You've been looking pretty good. You know what I'm saying? You've beaten, in those 3 straight games that you guys have won, you've beaten the Packers, the Bears, and the Giants. That was at the Bears and at the Giants. And like we've said, and the Bears, it's not your dad's Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears have actually, with Justin Fields, now granted, I hope everything works out with that shoulder injury that he's got going on with the left shoulder. It's his non-throwing shoulder. But as far as like his ability to run, throw, do everything, he's kind of opened up that Chicago Bears offense and looked a little bit more like the first-round pick that he's supposed to. But yet you guys were still able to overcome that and win that game. And then last week against the Giants, I mean, people were saying, oh, the Giants were pretenders. Were they pretenders, or were the Detroit Lions just that good? I mean, that's another question to ask yourself. You got Ross St. Brown out there that's absolute – I mean, he's a matchup nightmare for anybody. I don't care who you're playing against. You got, I mean, DeAndre Swift ain't even leading your team in touchdowns, man. You got Jamal Williams, who's supposed to be the backup. I mean, dude, it's nuts. It just doesn't seem like anybody on that team's selfish. You guys, underneath Dan Campbell, you guys are kind of starting to take his identity and everything as a tougher-nosed football team. Your defense has actually improved over the last few weeks as well, minus that anomaly game against the Chicago Bears and the red-hot Justin Fields at that time. Right. But, man, I like what y'all are doing. Here's the thing, though. Here's where I'm at on the pick, Corey. I can't pick y'all to win. I just can't, but I think that y'all will cover that 9.5. That's where I'm at on it. I think it's going to be a closer game than 9.5. I just just Josh Allen alone, I feel like, you know what I mean? If he's just somewhat of himself, I feel like he's going to be able to get the job done. But it's not going to be without a fight. I think you guys are definitely going to put up a fight. Just don't have the Bills covering in this one. But it wouldn't surprise me if it went the other way. I just can't pick the Detroit Lions over the Bills right now. What you got?
Oh, that's fair. I think the Lions will get this done, man. I like the trend that they're on. I think they found something these past 3 games. Just a will to win. And they're fighting for their coach, Dan Campbell, who was, like I said last show, a month ago, his job was in question. We didn't know if he was going to be there throughout the year. And here we are, 3-game win streak. I think that's rejuvenated the people in Detroit, especially that team inside that building. And like you said, 2 out of the last 3, the Bills have lost.
Right.
So I'm going to take the Lions 35-34.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm not saying
1 point upset.
It wouldn't. Yeah, see, I see more of like a 28-22 game, 28-21 by the Bills. I kind of see that kind of game. I think it's going to be a little bit more defensive focused than offensive focused. I really do. Just with the trend that both of them teams have been kind of going in lately. I don't know. I could be totally off on this one, but it's just hard for me to go against the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen. I mean, he's still, hurt or not, he's going to be the best player on that football field come Sunday. And what have we always alluded to? The most important position on your football team is your quarterback position.
Quarterback, yep.
And if you're going to ask me who I want to go into battle with, Josh Allen or Jared Goff, I'm going to roll with Josh Allen on that one.
I think we would all take Josh Allen.
So with or without the UCL sprain, it wouldn't matter to me. Give me Josh Allen right now. So, is there anything else you got on this game before we move on to this next one?
Nope.
Man, this next one, man, is the division rivalry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got the Dallas Cowboys against the New York Giants. You see what I'm saying here?
Yeah. This is about the time of the day. What is it? A 2:30 kickoff?
It's 3:30 p.m. Central Time. So our time is going to be 3:30 p.m. This is the second game on Thanksgiving. It's on Fox. The Cowboys at home are rolling up in here at -10. Wow. I mean, wow. Now, when I step back and I look at this, I'm a Vikings fan. You see, I've got my jersey on. People that watch this show, you already know I'm a Vikings fan. We literally got the field mopped up with us last week, man. We just it was absolutely terrible. Everything else. Here's the thing, though. Patrick Peterson said it on his podcast. He said, people can say what they want, whatever. I'm just going to tell you all right now, Dallas Cowboys did not get our best shot. They just did. Now, to me, that's crap. I don't believe in that kind of stuff. You literally went out there and got your head, skull punched in, everything. You know what I'm saying? You got skull dragged across the field 40-3. I don't think you have the right to even say that. So until you play again, you can prove otherwise. I'm saying all this to be said. They had a Vikings team last week. I alluded to this. It was 8-1, 5 games ahead in their division. How hungry are they? You know what I'm saying? You're on week 11 in the NFL season. This isn't playoff time yet. And we're already, you can pretty much punch our ticket to the playoffs. We're going to be in the playoffs. The Giants and the Cowboys came in there. They needed that win. The Giants need this win just as bad as the Cowboys need this win. This is going to come down to it. This could be one of those things when you're looking at the end of the season. Who's got that tiebreaker? Who's got that head-to-head? And this is going to matter. This Thanksgiving Day game for both these teams is going to matter. After what I witnessed last week, no, actually, I'm not going to give my pick. You go ahead. Give me your take on this game, Corey, and then we'll give our picks.
Bro, I'm totally with you. Divisional opponent. I think the Giants need this one way more than the Cowboys. It's interesting that Patrick Peterson said that on his podcast. Look, we could talk about coming off an emotional win and all that, but I just thought that, Patrick Peterson and the Vikings would have had taken the game a little bit more seriously from the fact that they had a legit chance to catch the Eagles.
Right.
Still do.
Yeah.
And get a first round bye and have, home field throughout the whole playoffs. So, I mean, we could talk about not being ready or, all of that stuff. I just think the measure of a great team, like that was a prime opportunity for, number one, for you to make a statement and beat the Dallas Cowboys, a team that almost everybody hates. You either hate them or love them.
Right.
And we both hate them. So that should have been motivation enough. And then number two, the fact that you have a chance to get the number one seed. But going back to the game, if you're the Giants, you're coming off the loss to the Lions. You still got the same record as the Cowboys. You played them tough the first time, but it was without Dak Prescott. You know who they are. You got to be able to run the ball. Don't let Micah Parsons get off. And somehow you got to neutralize Tony Pollard on the defensive side. If you can stop Tony Pollard from going crazy on you, then you have a chance. Same thing with Micah Parsons. I would run the ball at him. I would run right at Micah Parsons. I wouldn't run away from him, just to beat him up some and slow him down and just mash on him and then take your shots and play action. I mean, that's their best formula for success. Now, will they pull it off? Who knows? But it's going to be interesting to watch.
I got to pull something up on Twitter here from Micah Parsons' account because, I mean, as much as I hate the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, you just can't disrespect Micah Parsons, man. He's an absolute stud. He's a beast.
Yeah.
I hate that he plays for the dang Cowboys at the end of the day.
Right, we all do.
But he's got a pinned tweet on his Twitter account, and it's a Kobe Bryant quote. And I'll quote it right here. It says, "I refuse to change what I am. A lion has to eat." That is pinned. That's a pinned tweet on his Twitter account, Corey. At the top of his Twitter account. When I was just kind of scrolling through Twitter the other day, and this was after they had just completely destroyed my Vikings,
right.
I already respected Micah Parsons before and knew what he was capable of, man. But when you put a tweet on your Twitter account like that, and you pin that thing, the Mamba, you pin what the Mamba said, like, dude, you're a dude. That's a dude. You know what I'm saying? That just lets me know that guy is at a whole different level, mentally wise, physically wise, and he has his work ethic, I heard, is like second to none. I heard he's one of those guys, he's first on the field, last off the field. You know what I'm saying? He is kind of coming in here a little hobbled with an ankle injury. He tweaked his ankle last week late in the game against my Vikings. Don't know how much that's really going to affect him. I mean, what, you're going to have an 80% Micah Parsons out there? You might have a chance to hold the guy to 2 sacks. You might. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, give me any percentage Micah Parsons. My question that I'm going to have in this game, Corey, are you going to have the Dak Prescott from last week, or are you going to have the Dak Prescott that throws the ball to the other team 2 or 3 times? That's going to be the difference in this game. Because here's something that I will point out. I think the New York Giants boast a way better defense than what my Vikings do.
I agree.
I will say that. I mean, the New York Giants have a much better defense. I mean, my Vikings, they're bend but don't break. They broke like no other. I mean, the dam broke open last week. But the Giants, man, I mean, they got who is it on that defensive line? I mean, you've got freaking Lawrence. Who else? Hit me with some other people. Dexter Lawrence.
Calvin Thibodeau.
And then in the middle, they got dude, I can't believe I just drew a blank like this. I can see the guy. I know what he looks like everything. If I seen him, I'm like, oh, that's such and such.
I'm trying to think of his name, too.
I got to look at this real quick here. Defense.
But it is a very impressive.
Leonard Williams.
Yes.
Leonard Williams. So they got Leonard Williams, Calvin Thibodeau, and Dexter Lawrence. Dude, I mean, I'm going to do the same thing that I did the last game with the Bills and the Detroit Lions. I cannot pick against the Cowboys. I can't pick the Giants in this one. I just can't do it. Not in Dallas on Thanksgiving. I just don't see it happening. I think the Cowboys, they're calling this the OBJ Bowl.
The OBJ Bowl.
The OBJ
is going to go to the winner.
That's what they're saying. I mean, they're calling that one out. So, I mean, Now, in that case, I hope that the Giants beat them because I don't want to see Odell Beckham Jr. go to the Cowboys. That would be scary. Now that I've seen what the Cowboys just did to my Vikings last game, and again, if you're the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, cut Zeke. Like, cut him now. Like,
they're not going to do, bro. That cap hit would be ridiculous.
But you don't need that dude, though. Like,
I know,
and
but
guess
the cap
who's up
hit would be stupid.
Okay, guess who's up for contract after this season, though? Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard, yeah.
You're going to let that dude walk out that building and go somewhere else? Because somebody's going to write that dude a nice paycheck.
Oh, somebody's going to pay him
a lot. But here's the thing, though. Do you want to pay that running back a lot? I don't. I mean, I'm a Vikings fan. We've got about $20 million cap hit coming up next year for Dalvin Cook. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
I think running backs nowadays are a dime a dozen. I think you can go find another Tony Pollard in the draft. I think you can go find, not right off the bat. You got to develop it to that. But Tony Pollard wasn't this right off the bat. He's developed into this and gotten better year over year. He's improved.
Right. But he was a receiver. He was a receiver in Memphis.
My point.
So they turned him into a running back his last year. So he's not your average running back. I understand what you're saying because a lot of running backs, a lot of those guys are just running the mill guys you can pick up off the draft off another team. This guy coming out the backfield catching the ball is different.
Here's another take for you. You know who Tony Pollard reminds me of?
Who?
A better version of Jerick McKinnon.
No doubt.
A better version. But I mean, granted, you go back to that 2017 season when Jerick McKinnon and Latavius Murray were running that backfield for the Vikings when Dalvin Cook got hurt. I mean, Jerick McKinnon was a baller, dude. You know what I'm saying? He transitioned from quarterback to running back, but that's what I see in Tony Pollard, just a better version of that. Jerick McKinnon.
I think he's like I would give him he probably might be like a lesser version of Alvin Kamara or Christian McCaffrey at their peak. Like you think about those two bags at their peak that can catch the ball out of the backfield but still run between the tackles. Tony Pollard isn't as good as those two, right? He's kind of like a poor man's version of what those two running backs were when they're at the height of their career.
Here's the thing, though. I'll push that back to you real quick, and then we'll give our picks on this game. The Tony Pollard thing, though, you bring that up. Alvin Kamara, who did he sit behind before he could really flourish? Wasn't it, who was that? What was his name whenever he first started off over there?
Oh, New Orleans? He was behind Ingram.
Ingram, and then there was another guy before that. Was there not, or am I wrong on this one? Was it always Ingram and Kamara?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking of the Reggie Bush days back in. I went back.
Yeah, you're thinking about Pierre Thomas and Reggie Bush.
I'm thinking a little bit too far.
Well, that's kind of the same deal. Pierre Thomas was like the bruiser back, and Reggie was your scab back who can catch.
Right.
So, same difference.
Ingram. What I'm saying is whenever Ingram got let go, what happened? Kamara blew up, turned into that superstar back that we know him today. When Ingram was there, if you go and look at the numbers, it's very similar to what Tony Pollard's putting up right now with Zeke still there.
No doubt.
So the formula's right there for you, Cowboys. Take that cap hit, move up off of Zeke. I mean, he's not that dude anymore, man. All he's good for is on the 1 or the 2 yard line of the red zone. Give him the ball and he's gonna pound it in there almost every time. That's all he's good for anymore.
He's a very good red zone running back.
He is. He's not gonna give you 25, 30 carries anymore. He's just not capable of doing that anymore on a routine basis. So, with all of that being said, I cannot pick against the Cowboys in this game, Corey. I just can't do that. But they're not covering no -10. I think I think it's going to be a tougher game than what it was last week. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than what it was last week. I mean, everything worked out for them. So, I don't think that they're covering that -10. I mean, give me the Giants to cover on this one, but the Cowboys are going to win the game. What do you got?
I got the same. I got the Cowboys winning, but not covering. I probably see it being like a 28-24 type game, something around there, 28-23, something like that.
Okay. I like that. I got I'm more of like I think it's going to be a 35-31. I think it could be a little bit higher scoring game. I think that after the performance that the New York Giants put on last week, it's kind of going back. We're seeing similar things happen here. I can kind of allude that to the Packers beating the Cowboys and then the Cowboys coming out there flaming mad against us.
Yeah.
That could be something that happens. The New York Giants could be real pissed off right now, man. I mean, the New York Giants, Saquon Barkley got held like 22 yards. That's ridiculous. By the Detroit Lions. I mean, no disrespect, man, but the Detroit Lions, come on now. Everybody's
the worst defense in football.
That's what I'm saying. If you can't run the ball on the Detroit Lions, you got a problem. So that's where I'm at with this one. It's going to be a good game. I hope the Giants can beat the Cowboys. I just don't see that happening. But
I would love it too. Nah, that's it, man. I would love it too. But shoot.
We'll move on to this next one. This next one, man, this one's actually got me nervous. I don't know why they couldn't have put us on the 11:30 game. Put y'all on prime time or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm really, really nervous on this game. Me and you talked about it. Even before we lost last week to the Cowboys, I thought that I was like circling this one. I said, this one could be a L right here. The New England Patriots are rolling up in the U.S. Bank Stadium in Minnesota, and they're taking on my Minnesota Vikings. The sun is going to be down. It's going to be nighttime. It's going to be 7:20 p.m. Central Time. You know what I'm saying?
Said the sun is going to be down.
Yep. There's not going to be any sun shining through that glass in that stadium. You're not going to see no sun. It's going to be all dark outside. It's going to be real dark and real cold in Minnesota. That's what it's about to be. But it's about to be nice and temperature controlled inside that dome. I'm saying all this if everybody hasn't caught on by now. Kirk Cousins in primetime games is absolute poop. He's terrible. I was at the last primetime game that they played against the Philadelphia Eagles, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I mean, just go back to last week. That's about as close to primetime as you can get without it being actual primetime, and they look terrible. But I'm not blaming that one all on Kirk Cousins. I mean, I don't think there's a quarterback in the NFL that could have done anything against that pass rush of Dallas with that offensive line that he had in front of him. So I'm not blaming Kirk Cousins completely on this one. We do, however, though, have a little slight problem. Christian Darrisaw is already ruled out of this game. They're not, after that second concussion in a row, Kevin O'Connell came out in the press conference and said, we're going to be very extra cautious with this, and he is not going to play on Thursday night. Like, he said that after the game against Cowboys. Like, he already, dude's not going to play, which I'm not going to be selfish and say, oh, you should play him. No, concussions are nothing to joke with. This is the man's life. This has nothing to do with football.
Right.
But the problem is the New England Patriots might not score a whole lot of points, but they got a pretty good defense. And they got a guy over there that pass rushes. I don't know his name. You'll have to look this one up for me, Corey. The dude is an absolute stud. He's not quite Micah Parsons level, but he can still wreck a game plan. I mean... Are
you talking about Matthew Judon?
Oh, yes, that's him right there. That dude...
Yeah.
He's a freaking physical freak, dude. I mean, I don't know where that guy... Where did he go to school? Do you know?
Oh, I want to say a SEC school. The more I think about it, it wasn't Alabama. I think it was like... I don't know. I don't want to say it and then be completely wrong. It might be like Mississippi State or something.
I'm looking this up. But, I mean, all of that just added in. We have to be able to neutralize the rush because you know, with our left tackle being out, Bill Belichick's just sitting over there scheming up game plans on how to get to the quarterback. You know he is.
Right.
Because he knows at the end of the day, if he cannot get pressure on us, it's going to be a long day at the shop for him. You know what I'm saying? Yep. If you cannot get pressure on Kirk Cousins and you just allow us to sit back there and do our little boots, do our play action pass, get Dalvin Cook going, it can be a long night for you because whenever all that starts going, Justin Jefferson's going to be over the top. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that they have a Trevon Diggs in the secondary. I don't think they got anybody that's going to be able to neutralize Justin Jefferson. I could be wrong and totally out on this one, but I just don't believe that they do. But, man, it's this game's really, really got me nervous. I'm going to let you go ahead and give your take on this game, and then we'll come back to me and I'll give my pick on it. What you got?
I just think about this Patriots defense, and this is interesting. And how many wins they got? 6. In their 6 wins, they've given up 14, 0, 15, 14, 17, 3, and 3. Okay. So their highest in all of their wins, the most they've given up in any win is 17 points. Now, their 4 losses, they've struggled against running quarterbacks. So 2 of those were against Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson. The other 2 losses was against Aaron Rodgers in a game they should completely have won. They should have won that game.
Right.
And Miami the first week of the season, coming out with Tua and Tyreek Hill and Waddle. So say all that to say that their defense is pretty damn stout, but they tend to struggle against either running quarterbacks or teams that have like elite receivers. Okay, and so what you guys have is elite receiver. There's a big bounce back game for you guys. I think, like you said off air, you were talking on the phone earlier. If getting beat 40-3 doesn't wake you up, I don't know what the hell will. And so I think you guys are embarrassed. I think like all the Twitter memes and all of this, all of the things that people are saying about the Vikings, saying, see, I told you so, blah, blah, blah. They hadn't beaten anybody, blah, blah, blah. That's going to light a fire into you guys. I really don't see how the Patriots win this game. I got them winning big. I got you guys winning by at least 2 touchdowns.
Man, that's crazy. I was thinking the same thing. I wanted to say that to myself. To go back to our other point, Matthew Judon's college, we were both way off. I'm glad I didn't say anything. You said like SEC. The dude played at Grand Valley State.
There you go. See, that's why I don't want to say
Bill Belichick did it again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This joker, he got him in the round number 5 in the 2016 draft at pick number 146 overall. And the Baltimore Ravens were the ones that actually picked him up. This guy just scooped him up off of waivers.
Wow.
That's ridiculous. How does Bill Belichick keep continuing to do? And you know how I said that he's not Micah Parsons-esque? Well, he kind of is. He's got 13 sacks and leads the NFL right now. So, the dude's a monster. He's a physical freak, too. It scares me we don't have our left tackle. We got to roll Blake Brandel out there again, and I'm just, oh, my gosh. I don't know. And then you mix all that together with primetime Kirk Cousins. I mean, if you want to start turning that narrative over, man, win this game on Thanksgiving Day.
This one. Yeah, win this one.
Win. You know what I'm saying? Bill Belichick, the Patriots, they don't have Tom Brady, but you got to win this one. I'm with you on this one, Corey. I think the Vikings are going to come out flaming hot. I think they're going to be mad. I think they're going to put up on some points. I got something like a 35-14 victory. I think it's going to be a big, big victory, big blowout. I don't think it's going to be a close game because, we were playing all those close games and those games that we won. I think this is going to be a statement Thanksgiving night game for my Vikings. So that's where I'm at. Justin Jefferson's going over 100 yards and a couple touchdowns. You got him on your fantasy team. You're a lucky person this week because he's going to absolutely ball. I believe that.
Yes, sir.
So, anything else on this game before we hop in these power rankings?
Nope.
All right, you want to go first or you want me to?
I'll go first.
Okay, go for it.
You know what? You go first. You go first.
Okay.
You go first.
I kind of had a little tough time up here at the top, to be honest. This was probably the hardest I had to, pick the number 1 team. I went with what I've seen on the field the past few weeks and the best quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. I got the Chiefs sitting at number 1, man. I mean, I just think head and shoulders, they're still the best team in the NFL right now. They keep proving it week in and week out. Had a couple little slip-ups, but that could just be a test that the teams just don't really care come week 2, week 3 of the NFL. Number 2, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. That victory against the Colts last week was absolutely big for them, the way that they came back and won that victory, because you had Jeff Saturday in there. He was kind of the hot little coach. Everybody was saying they're going to win it for Jeff. You have Jonathan Taylor, and they went in there and they absolutely handled their business, and they won the football game.
Yep.
This next one absolutely kills my soul to have to do it, but on the field, I mean, you can't argue with it. The Dallas Cowboys are my number 3 team right now.
Ooh.
I couldn't put them over the Eagles because they didn't beat the Eagles. Now, granted, they didn't have Cooper Rush. We're going to find out, though, what that was really about, because later on this season, they're going to play in Dallas again. The Eagles and the Cowboys are going to meet up again. So that'll go ahead and settle itself out. My 4th team, they're probably one of the hottest and most talked about teams right now. MVP picks for Tua Tagovailoa I've seen. I got the Dolphins at number 4. You know what I'm saying? They've been absolutely balling over there. Their offense can score on just about anybody.
That's true.
Number 5, I put my Vikings at 5. They took a slide down just simply because I got the Bills at 6. I'm kind of one of those guys. If you beat that other team, I can't see myself putting them over them in the power rankings. I don't care if you are playing better at that time or whatever. So Vikings 5, Bills 6, 49ers. The 49ers have another game like they did last week. I don't care who it's against. They're coming up into my top 5. I'm going to bump somebody out, and they're going in my top 5. The number 8 team I got here is the Baltimore Ravens. They lose players. They lose running backs, and what do? They just keep on winning, Corey. I mean, they keep finding ways to win. They were losing those close games earlier in the year. They're starting to figure out how to win those games. Lamar Jackson's starting to look more like a Lamar Jackson that we knew he was going to be.
Hell yeah.
Number 9, I got the New York Giants. They're kind of right there hanging on by a thread in my top 10 right now. They lose this game against the Cowboys, they're going to drop out. Number 10, just because of the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think it's 2 weeks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are back up in my top 10, man. I mean, Tom Brady's got the Bucs looking right now. Yeah, I can't sleep on that, man. They're first place in their division right now. You know what I'm saying? One of the weakest divisions of football, but they're in first place regardless. So I got the Bucs at number 10. What do you got here?
Oh man, let's go number 1. I took the same train of thought you did, and I went with the Chiefs. Even though they still have 2 losses, one more than the Eagles, but I still like the way they operate. That offense is just something special. Number 2, the Philadelphia Eagles at 9-1. Number 3, the Minnesota Vikings at 8-2. I did not penalize the Vikings for what happened to them against the Cowboys. It was just their second loss. They still have the number 2 record in the NFC. Everybody kind of has a game like that throughout the season. I don't know if they have a game that bad. It was a thorough beatdown of what happened to them, but it's still one game's one game, so I'm not going to penalize them for that. Okay. Number 4, the Miami Dolphins. I think you had them number 4 as well at 7-3. Tua starting to get some MVP consideration. Tyreek Hill on a historic run at receiver, and Jalen Waddle. So there you go with that one. Number 5, Tennessee Titans. This is a team. I love this team, man. I love that nobody talks about them. Only question mark for them is quarterback, sitting at 7-3. If the playoffs started today, they'd be the 3 seed. I just love Derrick Henry. I love what Coach Vrabel does. Always has them in a good position. Always has them at the end of the game with a chance to win. Number 6, the Dallas Cowboys. Why aren't they higher? Well, they have 3 losses. Man. Okay. They've lost to the Packers 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, that loss wasn't even that long ago. You lost to a Packers team that a lot of people beat, including my Lions. To me, that I just can't excuse that. So they have 3 losses. So I put them in that range from 4 to 6, 4 to 7. Number 7, the Buffalo Bills at 7-3. They have 3 losses. They have losses to the Vikings. I forget who else they lost to. They lost to the Jets, who just demoted their quarterback. So, I mean, they have some problems.
Jets and the Chiefs. They got to get
figured out. The Jets and the Chiefs.
No, they beat the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs,
yeah.
Yeah, they beat the Chiefs.
Look, you lost to the Jets who have problems at quarterback. Got to have you at 7. Number 8, Baltimore Ravens. Love what they're doing. And I struggle with this. I kind of wanted to put them a little higher. but we'll see. They got time to make that up. Number 9, the San Francisco 49ers at 6-4. I'm with you. If they keep rolling like this, they'll jump up my rankings a lot. And then number 10, the Cincinnati Bengals, another team that nobody's really talking about, sitting at 6-4, same record they had this time last year before they went on their run to the Super Bowl. So,
man, I got some questions for you, my man, before we hop up off of here.
Go ahead.
The Cowboys at 6, my guy?
Yeah.
And you didn't drop the Vikings but a spot. Because I think you had them at 2 in your last week.
I had them at 2 last week. I got them at 3 this week. It's just one game. Everybody's going to overreact to this one game and be like, oh, my gosh.
40 to 3?
It's just one game. It's just one game.
You would know that more than I would. You would know that more than I would. I mean,
there's been plenty of teams that have gotten their doors blown off and have gone on to make deep playoff runs or even win the Super Bowl.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers
every year, a team that good.
Tampa Bay in 2020. I can't remember who they called. The
Saints.
Kansas City Chiefs too. Smoked them.
Yeah. And the Saints went in there that same year. They went into Tampa Bay and beat them on Monday Night Football 38-3.
Hey, don't get me wrong, my guy. If we see the Cowboys in the playoffs, I would love nothing more than to send their asses home packing. I would love nothing. Like, you guys can have that 40-3. If I even get like a 17-14 victory in the playoff, bye-bye. Have a nice day, y'all. See y'all next season.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I'm saying. It's just being overblown to me. You know what I mean? Because I watched my Saints do it in 2020. We beat them twice in the regular season. We beat the doors off of them in their place on Monday Night Football, 38-3. We catch them again in the playoffs in New Orleans because we won the division, so they have to come to us in the division round,
and they beat
us by 2 touchdowns.
No, I'm with you.
So,
I'm with you.
And they wind up winning the Super Bowl. So what else? What other questions you got?
Man, the Titans, I'm not, because I didn't have the Titans in my top 10, and now that you said that, I mean, I mean, you could argue with me and probably make me agree with you that the Titans should be in there over the Giants because I had the Giants at 9.
They were beating the Chiefs 17-9 with Malik Willis, who couldn't throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field.
And they lost because they lost in
overtime.
Because the reason why is you need a good quarterback to be able to win in today's National Football League. That's why I can't buy into the Tennessee Titans, because at the end of the day, when the rubber meets the road, you're going to run into a Patrick Mahomes. You're going to run into a Joe Burrow. You're going to run into a Josh Allen in the playoffs. And I just don't think a Ryan Tannehill can get you over that hump, even with a Derrick Henry running the ball, keeping the other team on the sideline. I mean, they're stacking 8, 9 in the box sometimes, Corey, against this guy, Derrick Henry. Teams will figure out how to stop him come playoff time. If they don't, they'll lose. I mean, if they don't, because Derrick Henry's one of those guys to where he can turn it on, he can control the whole football game, and you can win off of him. I'm not bought into them. I'm not bought. You're a little bit higher on them than I am. Everything else, and then like you can do Bucks or Bengals. Which one you gonna go with right now? Kind of comes down to my trust in old Tom Brady. I think I would be scared if my Vikings had to face Tom Brady in the playoffs. I hope that doesn't happen. Like I'd much rather play the Dallas Cowboys than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come playoff time. 100%. Yeah. Because 100%. they got guys on that team that know how to win when the playoffs are met. It's a win or go home. It's a whole different mentality when you get to the playoffs, because there can be no tomorrow for you when the playoffs are here. So I'm not hating on your top 10. I would flip-flop the Cowboys and the Vikings. I can't put the Cowboys underneath this, man. I just can't do it. They thoroughly, completely just skull-dragged this, man. I just can't. I'm die-hard, man, you know, and I hate the Cowboys. 40-3. It's still in my. I need this game tomorrow night, Corey, for my sanity, man. I need it. And we need a big win. I can't take another loss tomorrow.
Heaven forbid y'all lose this one, boys. Things are going to get... Oof.
I mean, it's still not over, but you don't want to keep going in this direction, getting closer to the playoffs. You want to keep going that way. So,
yeah.
But it kind of comes down to those one things, though. We won 7 in a row before that. I mean, you're always going to meet a team in the NFL that can absolutely hand it to you if you don't play your game right and if things don't go your way. And that was proven this last Sunday. But still, credit to the Cowboys for me. But we're moving on. We got the Patriots, and we'll see what happens. And we're still the 2 seed in the NFC as of right now. So we'll see what happens from there. Anything else you got for us this week before we hop up off of your Corey?
No, man, that's it. Everybody enjoy their Thanksgiving. Enjoy the games. Love on your loved ones, man. The crazy times right now in our country, everywhere else around the world. Shouts out to the people in Colorado. There's another mass shooting tonight as we shoot this on Wednesday night in Virginia. Also the Virginia football players that passed away last week as well.
Yep.
So
RIP.
Love on your loved ones. Appreciate everything that we've been blessed with, and be safe and just enjoy some good football and family.
I second everything you just said, Corey. And again, I'm thankful for this show as well. I'm thankful for you as a friend. You know what I'm saying? A brother.
Yes, sir.
We get on here.
Likewise.
We talk our sports, man. I love talking to you about sports. I love doing this show with you. And this is just the beginning, folks. We're going to keep this thing rolling. I'm thankful for my family as well. I'm thankful I have a healthy daughter, healthy wife, everything else. So,
amen.
Something I do want to do, though, we always kind of have a little question at the end. I'm going to do this one kind of Thanksgiving related. Drop down there in the comments for us, guys. I want to know what y'all's favorite Thanksgiving dish is, minus the main course. What's your favorite side dish? My side dish would have to absolutely be the cheesy corn. It's either in between the cheesy corn and the stuff. My mom, growing up, and my wife has incorporated it because I just don't allow it without it. You have to have the cheesy corn. I take my cheesy corn and I smash it on top of my mashed potatoes, and I just mix all that stuff up. And it's and the ham too. I'm not one of those that's picky about my food touching. It can all touch. I smush it all together. I think it's all better when it all touches together. So that's what I want to know. I want y'all to hop down there in that comment box. I want you to tell me what y'all's favorite side dish is. Also, too, if you guys are still listening to us and you haven't subscribed, why not? Hop down there. It's really easy, guys. Just hit that subscribe button for us. Thumbs up if you like the content. And also, too, hit that notification bell so you guys can be up to date on all our latest and greatest content. We will be hitting y'all up on a Thanksgiving evening tomorrow to recap all of these games. So until then, guys, we sign on in tonight. We're going to go ahead and we're going to sign on out of this thing and go to bed. Peace.